popsicle, icicle, testing. 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
We're on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoop, de-doop, de-doop.
All right. So a couple things I was looking at in trucking this week. It was interesting. Somebody sent me, his name's Michael Davis, sent us a little thingy. I guess there was a post about a driver. And here's the post. Interesting thought. Now, imagine you getting this message. You're a driver. It says, my dispatch just called and said all fuel cards are compromised and to pay for fuel until next pay period. He says, what that mean? I can tell you what that means. Use up a creek. So
your load not getting done.
Here, let me get my boss on the phone. Hey, you want me to take over here? I mean, honestly, when you think about it, it's like, and you know, it's sad to say, but actually, truck drivers have gotten messages like this by their, company owners. It's usually the small mom and pop companies, and I would tell you guys, there's a lot of signs that you can really see before you actually go work for those people. And I mean, and I'll give you those signs here in a second. And it's a pretty easy signs to see, actually. But, if you're a truck driver and you get a couple of these kind of messages, hey, our fuel card's been wink, wink, compromised. Could you pay for the fuel until, what did he say? Until
next pay.
The next pay.
The next pay.
If the fuel card was compromised, shouldn't it have said, fuel card has been compromised. Could you pay for the fuel until we get the card fixed? No, not until your next paycheck.
Or honestly, if there's something wrong with your fuel card's compromised, it would be give us 24 hours to fix it. I mean, if something's compromised, it usually can be fixed pretty quickly if it's a legit issue.
I don't. You know what a murder detective always says? They don't believe in irony, in coincidence. There's no such thing as coincidence. What do we call that? A coinky dink? Well, I'm going to tell you a little secret, okay? And this is just Troy's. You have my permission, truck drivers. I'm giving you permission. Can I give them permission?
Sure, why not?
I give you permission, all United States truck drivers. Hear ye, hear ye. And this day, a decree is going out to all the land of truckers. I'm serious.
Why'd you do count when in that?
I didn't do the count.
That was a count.
No, let me see. 1, 2, 3.
See?
No, that's different.
Not really.
No, I gave it a different laugh. Okay, here's the permission I give these truckers.
Okay.
If somebody asks you to pay for anything of the companies, you are allowed to say things like this. Piss off, boss. Or I'm just giving them the slangs. These are things that you have to write this down. Tell them, can you have them write this down? Any truckers out there listening, if you hear of your boss asking you to pay for anything, okay, can you get that tire fixed for me on the road there, Trucker Joe? And we'll put it in your check. You have my permission to say, piss off, boss. Or you can say something like, hey, boss, why don't you fix it yourself? Because I'm out of here. Or, hey, boss, your truck will be here at the local truck stop, parked with the keys underneath or behind the tire. Hey, boss. If you're a driver looking for a new trucking job, check out NCI. NCI offers the following: new Kenworth T680s, competitive wages, solo, team, and students welcome, plus a full benefit package for you and your family. Check them out today at 888-311-7076. That's 888-7076. And tell them Talk CDL sent you.
Attention trucking companies and truck drivers. If you need help with cash flow, we've got help on the way. Turn to Tab Bank, the bank that knows trucking. Tab Bank has been in the business of helping truck drivers and trucking companies with their cash flow needs for 25 years. It's just that simple. It's what they do. But they don't stop there. Tab Bank helps grow your business with their invoice, factoring, and banking services. What a plus that is. Before you book your next load, play it safe and contact Tab Bank to get their help with your factoring needs. Tab Bank helps determine the credit worthiness of your customers as well as billing and collection efforts on invoices that you factor with them. Let the experts at Tab Bank get you cash quickly for the loads you deliver. Again, it's what they do. Visit tabbank.com/talkcdl to learn more. That's tabbank.com/talkcdl. Tab Bank member FDIC.
Attention owner-operators, truck drivers, and small fleets. If you have a lot of violations and it's causing your insurance premium to be very high, I want you to call a man named Leif Denning at 507-884-1312. He will fight different organizations to get your violations actually removed, and that way he can sell you cheaper insurance. It's a win-win for you, and it doesn't cost you anything for him to do this. Again, Leif's number is 507-884-1312. Thank you, and enjoy those low rates. But you have my permission to refuse to pull out your good hard-earned money and pay for the boss's stuff. What do you think, Ruthann? Is that a good permission?
I would say that, if you want if the driver wants to use it, you're giving them permission. It doesn't mean they have to use it. But I would say this. I probably would politely tell them, boss, it's your tire. It's your tractor. You fix it. I'm not. I can get you an e-check, or you can Zelle me the money. How about you just Venmo that over to me and I'll use that to pay? But I wouldn't take it out my check or my account to pay for. Now, I know a lot of drivers will use like toll money. I guess it was tolls. Like they'll do.
Well, they have toll passes today. Yeah. This is back when I was a trucker. You're thinking I always had, because remember when I was a driver, right? We would literally, what was really crazy, we had to stop and pay tolls because there was no such thing as a toll pass.
Right.
Right. Now these truckers, you guys got it like made.
They do.
You guys are pampered. Yep. I mean, like you guys get to just bypass tolls, bypass scales. That wasn't like that for me. I had to, and if I didn't have cash, I did what's called cash advance. Right. And then what I would have to do is I would have to put the receipts in a trip pack and turn that in. Right. And a lot of times if it missed the cutoff, they would deduct it from my check. Then I had to go beg them for the damn money back. It was I actually got mad a few times. So
you got mad a lot of times.
No, I wasn't. Well, maybe. But anyways, my whole thing is this. If a trucking company literally asks you to pay for something, or here's the next one. If they say, oh, sorry, there was an error at the bank. That's why, wink, wink, your check is 3 days late this week. You know how many drivers have called in and said to me, what do I do? What do I do? This is the third time now, and it keeps getting worse. And it's supposed to be payday on Friday, and now it's payday on Monday, or it's a week late, and they're always having a problem. You know what I tell the driver?
Find another job, I would.
Right. Piss off, boss. That's exactly what I would do. Now, here's the problem. If you're working for some crappy fly-by-night company that promised you big dollars, and you have, let's say, a DUI or a drug failure, or you have several tickets, and you really can't, go get a job somewhere else.
Your options are very limited.
Right. And that guy that you're working for, he knows it. That's what they call having you by the balls. I'm serious. And most drivers, after a while, they realize, look, this guy thinks he has me by the balls, but he doesn't. I'm out of here. So remember what Troy gave you. And should I get cards made up? Piss off, boss. Should I get that? Huh? You like that?
I mean, it's catchy.
Piss off, boss.
Yeah.
I like that. But now, here's how you can tell. All right? Now, when you're changing jobs and you're interviewing the company, they're interviewing you, you're interviewing them. Both sides. Okay. What are you going to do for me, Mr. Trucking Company? If they're offering you a truck that's, I want to tell you honestly, over 3 years, but you can even do 4 years. If they're offering you a truck that's over 4 years old, all right, you're already walking into the what? The pit.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree?
I would agree. Most companies don't have tractors over 4 years.
Well, no, don't say that, because there's a lot of the little rinky-dink ones. The trucking companies that have their trucks are held together by Band-Aids, bubble gum, and glue. Mm-hmm. I'm going to tell you right now,
Gorilla Glue.
There's a lot of them. I've talked to truckers, and they'll be telling me about problems they're having, and I'll say, well, what you're trucking? And they'll be like, oh, I'm in an 07. I'm like, you're in an 18-year-old truck? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So think about this. Do the math. Now, when I was a driver, okay, it was really, honestly, nothing to average 140, 150,000 miles a year. That means in 4 years, that's a 600,000 mile truck almost, okay? Mm-hmm. That's what that means. That means 550 to 600,000. Now, in today's world, your fleets, if a trucking company is just starting out and they buy some used trucks to get started, and they have, let's say an average of 120,000 on their odometer. Well, if you get a 5-year-old truck, that's 600,000 miles right there. If they offer you a 10-year-old truck, that's a 1,000,000-mile truck. What do you think you're getting into there? Mm-hmm. Do you not realize when you jump into a 1,000,000-mile truck that you're not really going to be going down the road without many issues? It's going to have issues. If it's not motor issues, it's going to have other ones.
Right. And honestly, when you were talking about that, you know what I thought of is the fact that when COVID was around, a lot of the tractors, they didn't have the proper chips and stuff that were coming in. And even with our cars, we're having issues where stuff doesn't seem to be like working properly after like just even a specific short amount of period. So I would say if a tractor was presented during that time frame, that there is more chances of having issues with it because of that fabrication of them.
Good point also. So I'm not saying that a 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old truck can't be maintained nice. And there's nothing wrong with somebody just starting out in business. But if you show up at a trucking company and the seats are ripped up, it stinks.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's dirty, hasn't even been cleaned out. Here's a big one. The tires are questionable. Okay, my boss gave me a 9-year-old truck. The tires, I don't think are going to pass. What are you doing? You should expect them to say, hey, the fuel card is having problems. Hey, we're late on the check this week. Mm-hmm. That's the company that's going to be screwing you.
Right.
You guys got to know this. And, I'm sad that I have to be the guy to tell you this, but I'm telling you this for your own good, guys and gals. All right? Try to find a trucking company that's at least got a 4-year or newer truck. I'll say 4 years. I don't think 4 years is that bad. But when you start now, look, if you got like some 10-year-old 379 Pete, right, or a 389 Pete, or a big W900 that's been like show maintained, where a company really does care, and you see this thing as immaculate, that's different. If something looks like it's been super taken care of, there's a good chance that it's going to be decent. But I'll tell you, if we're being honest, if you got a 10-year-old truck and there's never been an in-frame or an overhaul done to that truck, you're probably going to be breaking down. Mm-hmm. You're going to be breaking down. So I wouldn't go there. And if you go to a company, like I said, and you get there and the tires are shabby and their office is crappy, right? And there's not even any parking for their trucks, okay? And they have different DOT numbers involved in their trucks, I would tell you guys you're crazy for going there. The only guys that I would recommend going to those companies is guys that are desperate because nobody else is going to hire them. And we all got to work. I get that, okay? And it's a shame that people will take advantage of you when you're in that situation. But as for me, somebody tells me the fuel card's having problems, my answer is, guess what it is? Say it.
Piss off, boss.
That's exactly. Thank you. You learn fast.
I try.
Piss off, boss. But that's my saying to a trucking company that tells me their fuel cards are compromised, and can I pull out $1,000 and go ahead and fill it up for them? You think 300, if you have two 150s and you have to put in, let's say 250 gallons, right, to fill it. Let's say you got a load and you got to go, 1,500 miles, and you got to put in 250 gallons at what is fuel now? It's like $3.50 a gallon, even at $3 a gallon, $4 a gallon. You do the math. You know what I mean? You're looking at $1,000. I mean, honestly, that's insane. I'm not pulling out $1,000 for any company. I'm here to work for you, dude.
I would say, do you think you pay me that well that I would just have this extra $1,000 to fill the tanks up for partially my trip?
I like that reaction. And so now Ruthann came up with something other than
piss off, boss.
Other than that, right? How about, you pay me quite a bit here. You really got me rich. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. With all those millions you're paying me, sir, let me go ahead and pull out $1,000 and pay for your fuel. Be a little sarcastic. You have my permission to be sarcastic.
Oh, yeah. I think it would be much better with that sarcasm.
Yeah.
I don't think you'll get the point across just as nicely unless you have that higher dose of sarcasm inside of it.
And I'm going to tell everybody out there right now, and I've been watching it. I'm not saying that we're super rolling along, but the industry has changed over the last couple of weeks. Drivers are in way more demand than they were even a month ago, and it's picking up, Lord willing. Trump promised it would happen real fast, and I'm telling you, I'm watching it happen pretty fast right now. I could be wrong. Check with me in another couple of weeks, and I'll let you know if it's still on that pace. But it seemed to really pick up, and everybody has noticed it. So
yeah, I noticed it too.
So anyways, drivers, I'm going to move on from this because I get a little fired up when I see a trucking company that has the nerve, to actually do that. And you want to know the worst part with these guys, Ruthann? These are what they call the one truck chucks, right? These are the small trucking companies that when you quit, they take it personal. Mom and Pa Kettle owns a couple trucks, and when you leave, you're hurting the family, man. We don't know you. And then when a trucking company calls and they go, hey, was Joe Trucker there working for you? Hell no. That guy's a rotten son of a gun. He screwed us. No matter what you do, usually those small companies, they take it personal when you work for them. Family-owned businesses are the worst ones to work for because they take it personal when you quit. I'm not saying like a giant J.B. Hunt, because that's a family-owned company, believe it or not. But when I'm talking about the small companies, when you work and you quit, the first thing that they do, actually, they don't even answer the phone, so your reference isn't even there. So if you spend 6 months to a year with this company, right? Guess what? You go to quit because
you're not going to get your VOE.
Because your checks are late, because the tires are terrible, because the truck is bad, the fuel card's bad, whatever. It ain't even your fault. You're quitting, and when you go to leave there, then they screw you in the reference. And the reference, your driver reference that these companies give you is very important, isn't it, Ruthann?
It is highly important, and that would also be where, if you're having a trouble getting your reference, where the FMCSA hotline would come into effect.
Right, exactly. So, anyways, drivers, once more, I'm going to tell you what to do when a company is asking you to spend your own money, or it's a piece of garbage that they ask you to drive in, or your check is late. Say it with me, Ruthann. You ready?
Ready.
Piss off, boss. All right, moving on.
Moving on.
Truck Parking Club is a network of instantly reservable daily and monthly truck parking locations throughout the U.S. Truck Parking Club helps connect truckers to truck parking locations throughout the U.S. via truckparkingclub.com. Our networks is made up of property owners that have locations adequate for truck parking to list on the platform. This includes trucking companies, storage companies, CDL schools, trailer leasing companies, real estate investors, truck parking operators, and more. Go to truckparkingclub.com today. For over 20 years, Summar Financial has been a trusted partner for owner-operators and small carriers, providing fast, flexible, and transparent freight factoring solutions that keep businesses rolling. Here's why truckers choose Summar. Number 1, same-day payments. Number 2, if a broker doesn't pay, Summar takes the loss. Zero risk for you.
Number 3, no reserve plan. Get all your money up front with no hidden final payouts. Number 4, no long-term commitment. Try Summar with no minimum volume requirements or long-term contracts. Number 5, fuel card program with top savings. The best network in the country, flexible payment methods, and IFTA support. With fast, hassle-free payments, technology-driven solutions, dedicated account executives, no surprises, no hidden fees. Trust Summar Financial to get your invoices paid today. And when we say paid today, we mean paid today. For more information and to learn about Summar, go to landings.summar.com/talkcdl. That's landings.summar.com/talkcdl. Okay, so interesting story I was reading, kind of crazy. You know what's funny about trucking? It's got so many personalities.
I can name a few things that's funny about trucking, yes.
Well, here's a personality for you in trucking. Now, this is a trucker. He worked for a company for 2 years, and the caption reads, former truck driver sentenced to 29 years for attempted murder of boss who reprimanded him for poor driving. So apparently he got pissed off, right? And I think he ended up getting fired. Let me see. It's here. It says a former truck driver has been sentenced to 29 years in prison for attempted murder of his boss who reprimanded his poor personal hygiene and driving. So it says back in November of 23, 34-year-old driver Zane Hammond was a truck driver for United Freight Services in Phoenix for about 2 years when he quit after being repeatedly reprimanded for poor driving and personal hygiene. Hammond reportedly quit his job, went home to Tucson, Arizona, got drunk, and drove back to Phoenix Trucking Company with an armed rifle. Hammond then walked into his boss's office at the trucking company and fired multiple shots at him. I tell you, he had to be drunk. He didn't hit him. It says the boss was able to flip the desk and avoid being hit by hiding behind it. It says, but Hammond soon turned the rifle on the vice president, who was also in the office. So the vice president ends up, getting him in a chokehold and subduing him. But what I was thinking, what was weird is, can you imagine like them old gunfights? You know what I mean? Where they're going, and they're like 5 feet away from each other, and neither one is getting hit. It's like, all I can picture is this guy's in the office shooting at him, and it was a shotgun. If you read it, it was a shotgun. It's like, how do you miss? I mean, he said he was drunk, right? I have no idea. But anyways, the dude got 29 years, which sucks. But I was thinking, now it doesn't go into detail and say what his bad driving was. But let's just talk about that part, and we'll go back to the hygiene part in a second. So he's there 2 years. If you're the boss of a trucking company, a safety director, how many times do you have to reprimand somebody for bad driving, which is basically unsafe driving? How often do you, unless they're calling something else bad driving. Okay, but to me, bad driving, somebody that, okay, we seen on camera, you almost ran somebody over, you got people are calling in, that's another thing people don't realize, call-ins. Okay, how many truck drivers don't realize when they cut somebody off, or maybe they accidentally cut somebody off, people are calling in, and if you get enough call-ins, they fire you and they put that on your reference. But anyways, this guy was there 2 years getting all these bad trucking reprimands.
I'm gonna try and see if I can find out what they were.
Go ahead, try it. Did you hear his name? Do you remember his name?
No.
Here, Google his name. Let me give it to you. So, as you're Googling this, my thoughts are this. If you're a safety director, his name was Zane, Z-A-N-E, Hammond, H-A-M-M-O-N-D. He was 34, and I guess he lives in Tucson or Tuscan, whatever, however you want to pronounce it. Anyways, so here's the question, Ruthann. Are you ready for the question?
I am.
All right, you're now safety director, Ruthann, which makes you one of those weird ones because we know safety directors think different than everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you put up with it for 2 years?
No.
Does a safety? First off, my question. I'm questioning the trucking company owner here. So for 2 years, you kept telling this guy he's got bad driving habits. He's a bad driver. You kept him you're that freaking greedy for a driver, right? That you decided that you'll just keep reprimanding him for 2 freaking years. And you didn't even fire him. He ends up quitting, which is the worst thing of it all. So you're telling the world that he's a bad driver, but yet you kept him for 2 years. I almost have to question, was the guy really a bad driver? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like, was he just on the guy because he wanted him to work harder and work more and make him more money? Because why would you risk your whole trucking company? Because you know what a good lawyer would do if he would have got into a wreck? They would have went through all the records and said, hey, this guy was reprimanded for being a bad driver. We're suing you for your damn company, right?
Right.
Exactly. So the whole question that I'm posing is, okay, 2 years. You're saying this guy's a bad trucker. Now, I understand shooting at somebody. Yeah, you got to go to jail. I get that. I'm not justifying the shooting of a trucking company owner. But anyway, but seriously, if you literally keep a guy, right, but you complain about his driving, and in 2 years, he quits because he's sick of you complaining about his driving, I've got to question your ability to run a trucking company. That's really the first thing I'm saying here. I mean it. That's my question.
What's funny is I'm looking at the picture of the guy.
Of who? The trucker?
Yeah.
Yeah, I seen him.
Oh, they have 2 different pictures.
Yeah. So what does it matter? They look different. Everybody looks different. Kind of looks like a hippie. But anyways, that's my question there. Now, are you done with that? I want to move on to the other part of this.
No, go right ahead.
The hygiene. Right. So now he's being yelled at for hygienes, right?
Not low jeans.
Not low jeans. You know, what's that song? Pants on the ground. Pants on the ground. But seriously, you're yelling at the guy for poor hygiene. Now, I have to ask, is it because his truck was dirty and smelled, or was it because he was dirty and smelled?
I mean, you got to think of customers.
Now, here's my next question is, well, I agree with you. You know, if you're not showering and bathing, I wouldn't want you delivering to my customers either. You know, if your smell is offensive, here's the other thing. If your smell is offensive to everybody around you, are you not smelling it?
Ugh,
exactly. Yeah. You know, like have you ever forgot to put deodorant on?
Yeah.
I have. Mm-hmm. And by the end of the day, I'm going, man, I stink. Damn, I suck. I mean, tell me you can't smell your own funk.
You can. You can tell when you stink.
Right. So if you're not showering for days and days and days and you're really reeking, guys, gals, I'm here to tell you, what can I come up with a new saying besides piss off boss?
Sure.
Clean your ass, driver. You like that?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, well. But no, seriously, clean your ass, buddy. And I'm telling, this is for anybody out there. Don't tell me that you're driving so hard that you got to go 2 weeks without taking a shower.
It's funny because when the grandbabies and stuff stay the night and all, and I'm like, come on, get a shower or get in a bath, and they're be washing. I'm like, did you get your butt?
Yeah. Ruthann tells them, make sure you wash your butt.
Get your butt.
But it's true, though. You know, I seen a video the other day. It actually went viral. This girl's like, I don't date any man unless I know he washes behind his knees. I'm like, I never thought of that. I mean, not that I never thought of washing behind my knees, but I'm like, I've never heard of that, washing behind your knees. Like, you wash everywhere. But, like, now I'm very, aware when I'm in the shower. I'm like, I got to make sure my behind my knees are washed.
You're not dating a woman. I'm sorry.
I'm not going to date her. I'm not dating her, but I'm just thinking now, every time I go to wash, I'm going, man, that girl, she's got me washing behind my knees. But no, seriously, drivers, I'm being serious, okay? Take care of yourself out there. You know, we've often said that when you're out on the road, and your truck is dirty and your truck stinks and you got to get and climb over dirty clothes or garbage from Burger King and McDonald's on the floor, that can be depressing. Mm-hmm. It's hard to stay on the road if you're getting in a truck that stinks. And I'm going to tell you something. I've been there where, okay, I didn't keep my truck clean a couple times. And then if you got Burger King papers in there, that stuff starts smelling. So I'm just telling you guys that, you know what, when you eat something, get your garbage and when you fuel up, take it over to the garbage can, put it away. When you get a shower, make sure you have a bag just for that. And if you're out on the road for weeks at a time, make sure you set a day for every week one day a week where you're going to do your laundry, keep it nice and clean, fold it, and put it away. Get up in the morning and make your bed. You will feel so much better when you pull into a rest stop or a truck stop or anywhere and you look back there and your bed is made. I'm telling you, it's a mentality thing, and I promise you, you'll feel a lot better if you're clean. I sleep better, Ruthann, if I'm clean. I do. I feel I don't go a day without showering hardly ever.
There's nothing better than when you climb into bed and you've already had your shower, but you smell the clean sheets too.
I was going to say, if you have clean sheets, just changed, and you just got a shower, you get under the covers in a nice cool room, and you just rub your leg around. You're like, oh, this feels so good. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, guys, I'm not here to. Well, I guess I am here to tell you. Clean your butt up, okay? If you're not taking showers,
literally,
clean it. Clean that butt crack, guys. All right? Because it's offensive when you don't put deodorant on and you literally haven't showered for a couple days. Now, most guys are going, duh, Troy, because I know most of you guys take showers. I know you do.
But there are those few that don't.
Right. There's a couple guys out there that don't realize. Now, listen, if you weren't ever really taught, okay. Now listen, I'll be the first one to admit, when I was out on the road, if I wasn't unloading trucks and I wasn't sweating my brains out, I could wear the same pair of jeans 2-3 days for the week.
Well, if you're just sitting there.
Right.
But I will tell you this.
But I wouldn't wear the same t-shirt. You know what I mean? Like if
underwear.
Right. Or definitely not the underwear. I just changed them inside out. I'm kidding. That was a joke. That was a joke. They're only dirty on one side. Well, that's what, like when I'm trying to save on toilet paper, I use both sides. You know what I mean? Like that's conserving, right? No, that wasn't a good joke.
No. We're past that.
You never heard that saying?
No, I know. I've heard you say it many times.
Use both sides of the toilet paper.
You've said that before.
But it's funny. I think that's funny.
I don't find the humor.
I thought it would be funny. But anyways, I'm very serious when I say this. I definitely changed my t-shirt and changed my underwear and socks. I cannot stand putting on a pair of socks from yesterday that my feet might have sweat in. I just won't do it. So socks, underwear, and shirt every day, drivers. Okay?
I think when a lot of them will have the mentality of, oh, I wasn't out doing anything but driving, so I didn't sweat or anything. But I can guarantee your butt crack sweated.
Okay, moving on.
I'm just saying.
No.
Moving on.
All right, let's move on. One last thing for me, and then I'll be done. Remember that company, Hope Transportation or Hope Trans?
Yeah.
The one had the driver a couple weeks ago that fell asleep and killed 5 or 6 people in Terrell, Texas.
Yes.
Okay, so now they finally issued an arrest warrant for somebody internally for basically forging the registration or whatever. They didn't announce his name, but they're after this guy. But what I wanted to tell you is this. In reading this, the last time I read this, a little bit more about this, and they're saying it again, that there's more and more drivers that are coming forward and testifying on this kid's behalf, saying, listen, this company pressured us into driving over on our hours and fixing our logs for us. Now, I know there's a lot of companies, and especially in Chicago, okay, that I hear it all the time. And it's not just Chicago, but that's where the majority is up in Chicago, okay? And I hear drivers tell me all the time, they make me use personal conveyance. They'll set my logs back. They know how to do that. You know what I mean? With, I guess, I don't know if it's Keep Trucking or Samsara or whatever system they're using. Certain ones, what they do is at the trucking company, the dispatcher will give them a fresh set of hours, or they'll use another truck driver's name that's not even in the truck. Okay, they can log somebody in under somebody else's name and use another truck driver's logs because it's digital. So this is the smart scammer way of trying to get truckers to run extra hours. Well, now flash forward and you got Terrell, Texas. You got a driver that fell asleep, and now you've got drivers in that trucking company, right? And I think they had like 200 trucks. I think they're from Oregon or something, right? This company. And so now there's drivers coming forward going, hey, listen, they made me drive. They bullied me into driving. They set my logs. They did all this stuff. And now what's going to happen? Somebody's going to freaking jail because 5-6 people died. So not only that driver's going to jail, trucking company owner, your ass is going to jail. Mr. Dispatcher, your ass is going to freaking jail.
Accountability.
Prison time, guys. And all you think you're smart because you found a way to screw the system and get truckers to work their balls off more and fall asleep at the wheel. Guess what? You're going to freaking prison. And you better know this. This is a pure fact. You're going to prison. So my message to all you companies that are using personal conveyance, that are resetting logs, that are using somebody else's login, okay, to run a driver under somebody else's name, all the little loopholes you're doing, if something happens at your company and all those drivers go, yep, he did it to me. Yep, he did it to me. Yes, I'd like to talk to somebody about this accident. Yeah, I'm one of the drivers from that company, and that same dispatcher, that same company was doing this to me. You guys are going to get dicked.
Right.
You guys are really going to get it. I'm telling you, you don't even realize it. These guys... Ruthann, I'm telling you, these guys risk 10, 20, 30 years in prison. You're talking 5, 6 deaths.
But they have to take accountability because if you're pressuring the driver to run, you're pressuring them, hey, listen, I really need you to do this. And the driver already knows if I don't do it, they're going to get me back in another way. I'm going to have less miles next week.
Exactly.
Or my check's going to get held up.
Yep.
Or... I'm going to have to come in to get my truck inspected or something stupid that I'm going to lose out later.
Or they fire me.
Yeah. Or they fire me.
Because what if
they know it?
Remember we talked earlier about a driver that is desperate because he's got some things on his record, and so these companies think they have him by the balls, and then they make him run, and then he gets into an accident, and then this happens. I'm telling you, you guys for a couple extra dollars to spend 10, 20, 30, 40 years in prison, this is going to hurt. I don't know how long this kid's going to do prison. He's definitely going to do prison.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Remember that guy that came down the mountain in Colorado a couple of years ago? At first, they gave him 110 years, and then everybody was like, no, that's just not right. And so they ended up, I think they dropped it down to 10 years. So he's still in prison. He's doing 10 years. He lost control of the truck and came down the hill. He was afraid. He was really untrained, blah, 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 blah. Well, he's in prison. But you know what? The trucking company people didn't get in trouble because I don't think it was a matter of them forcing. This was the trucker's decision.
Right.
But in this case, you got fellow truck drivers at that company going, this is what this company does. This company is, I guarantee you this time next year, you Google Hope Transportation. I think we Googled it the other day, and their main terminal is like Orlando or something. I have to look at it again. But all I'm saying is you Google them in a year from now, Hope Trans, I would be willing to bet they're not around. There's no way they can sustain a 5-6 person death, not to mention 5-6 person death lawsuit, but criminal because you guys are making drivers drive.
Well, yeah.
You're in a lot of trouble, Hope.
They're going to lose a lot of their employees, period. But remember, there's another trucking company where the driver went and did something similar. I mean, they were drinking and driving.
Well, that's different.
But they still killed a lot of people, and the company ended up going out of business because they couldn't sustain the insurance.
Exactly, they could, but this is different. This was a company. This is everybody's fault at this company, and I should say alleged because they have their day in court. You're innocent until proven guilty.
Right.
But it's kind of weird. You got all these drivers coming forward. I don't think these drivers know each other, but they're all coming forward, going, "This is what happened," and they're telling their story. So I could tell you right now, it's all stacking up against Hope. Ruthann, that's all I got to say. That's my podcast for the week. What do you got for the word of the day? Word of the day. Is it Word Genius?
It is.
What do you got? Word Genius, man. They make us so smart.
I'm trying to help you.
And it's free. If you guys download the Word Genius, they're not a sponsor of Talk CDL. Guess what they are? They're just somebody we like, and we promote them. We've been promoting them for years. We say, hey, go check out Word Genius. Because why? Because they will let you get the word of the day every day sent to you. Or you could just wait once a week and have little Miss Ruthann read you the word of the day. Only one time, though, for the week.
It's your choice.
Go for it, Ruthann.
Effulgent.
What'd you say again? Good.
Effulgent.
Effulgent?
Effulgent. EFFULGENT. Effulgent.
Okay, tell us what it means.
It means shining brightly radiant of a person or their expression, emanating joy or goodness.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought.
Effulgent. Nice. I like that.
So like when you see, and I'm going to give y'all an example. This is not one of the sentences they gave, but it's one that I thought of. You know how when you see a pregnant woman, they usually say, oh, she's just glowing.
She's effulgent.
She's effulgent.
That is a good example.
It is a
really.
good example because most women, they say, and it has to really honestly do with all the vitamins and stuff that they're taking and, the extra rise in their hormones and all that, they have that glowing skin. Well,
Hey, real quick, just want to mention the upcoming Florida Trucking Show, actually, in Fort Lauderdale at the
Convention Center.
Fort Lauderdale Convention Center, right on the water. It's a really cool place to stay. Talk CDL will be there, Lord willing, the 21st and 22nd of February 2026, and we are attempting to start planning Louisville also. So come on out, hang out at the booth with us. We'll be out there, and we'll be doing some mic checks, and we'll be doing some recordings, and y'all can get into a video with us or whatever the case is, and we'll put it all up on our platforms and just have a great time together. What do you think, Ruthann?
I think it sounds awesome.
All right, we're out of here.
Peace.
Peace. Praise the Lord.